The anime already begins by raising an unsettling question. What happens to your social network when you die? Does everything simply disappear? The opening is quite mysterious and invites reflection. Many would say that, after that, nothing continues, that it would make no sense to post again. Still, this idea may be wrong. Perhaps there is something much stranger and more disturbing behind it. Soon after, we are introduced to the protagonist of the story, Soji Enishiro, known as a true provocateur. He is the kind of person who deliberately creates trouble, starts fights, beats opponents, and comes out victorious, earning money at their expense. His actions irritate practically everyone. Even so, he seems completely fascinated by this reaction. Every time he reads the hate-filled comments, he becomes even more excited. For him, it is thrilling because the more people hate him, the more money he believes he is making. Inside the train, it is possible to hear how his name spreads by word of mouth, while his controversial opinions continue circulating. His channel grows more and more. The most recent video showed Soji defeating an MMA fighter and fleeing the place right afterward. Even having witnessed the scene, people say they hate it, but they cannot stop watching. At first glance, Soji seems like someone cold and resilient, someone difficult to deal with. However, when the subject involves his sister, everything changes. When they meet at the hospital, he shows concern. She asks if she can sit beside him and tells him to stay calm. Her name is Kari. She asks, irritated, why he did not respond to the messages. Soji explains that he needed to take care of something pending and comments that she brought a small gift. Akari, however, knows her brother very well and knows that he took so long only to finish what he was doing. He is eating alone, and Soji asks him to stop. He says that they could eat together, but his sister reminds him that he can only eat one sweet per day. She asks how many he has already eaten that day. He replies that it was 3, but she does not believe it at all. Pressured, he ends up confessing that he ate 6. This leads to a big scolding. She reinforces that he needs to maintain a balanced diet, unlike his, full of soda, taquinos, pizza, and hamburgers. She mentions that if they continue like that, they might end up like that miserable guy who died of a heart attack. Returning to the main subject, Soji comments that all of this has a reason. Without him, she would feel completely lost. Suddenly, he starts coughing intensely. His sister gets scared and tries to call a nurse, but she stops him, saying that he will be fine. Even so, Soji does not understand why his body reacts that way. Soji asks her to be strong, because now he is alone. There is only 1 month left until the trip to the United States, where a miracle doctor will be able to operate on her. She asks, worried, if he is sure he can spend that much money. Soji asks her not to worry, stating that he has already solved everything thanks to a good job. This makes him remember that disgusting man from the orphanage who taught him to live without being a burden to others. He also said that if there were a legal way to earn a lot of money, he would do it. Unfortunately, Soji does not possess great intelligence or special abilities, but he has a strong body and talent for fighting, and if, to earn money, he needs to be a nuisance, then he will do it without hesitation. He does not care if the whole world hates him, as long as Kari can recover. 1 month later, people begin to find the absence of new videos on the Aoringo channel strange. No new content has been posted. Some comment that he retired from Mubaran, while others spread rumors about the Mighten Academy, a school specialized in young people addicted to cell phones, known for extreme methods where no one manages to escape unscathed. Already at night, Soji is at home, eating a pudding, when he receives a message from Akari. He replies saying that he is fine and enjoying the dessert. Quickly, she scolds him, reminding him that he should not eat that. She asks him to keep his promise and confesses that she is feeling great, as if she had never been sick. She says she misses him a lot and wants to see him soon, but that she will return shortly. Soji is moved when he realizes how much better his sister is. The hours pass, and while he sleeps, he slightly opens his eyes and sees a figure holding a huge hammer. The figure says that the time has come to send him to St. Peter. Soji manages to dodge the blow. The stranger calls him an idiot and tells him to stop running away. Soji asks who he is and what he wants. The mysterious boy apologizes for having been rude, which leaves Soji confused. Instead of apologizing for almost killing him, The stranger attacks again. Soji reacts, making him drop the phone. The boy tries to pick it up, but Soji recovers it quickly and runs away. In the park, he tells everything to his sister, without understanding why the target was his phone. When he was about to call the police, the man appears from behind. He tries to attack, but Soji manages to defend himself. The boy is surprised when Soji says that now he will fight in self-defense. The stranger blocks the blows easily and uses the hammer to vent his anger on the phone. Even so, Soji avoids the attack. At that moment, the boy calls him by name and reveals that he knows exactly who he is, a provocative YouTuber. He says he knows his videos and states that, although they are well made, the content is terrible, to the point of causing disgust. Even so, he apologizes again and kneels, asking for forgiveness, thinking that Soji already knows the reason for this. He believes that Soji assaulted someone close to him. Because of that, he explains that his motivation has always been money and perfectly understands why that generates hatred. He begs not to be killed. He says that Soji can hit him if he wants, but he does not want to die, nor have his phone destroyed, because his sister is far away and he talks to her through it. Even so, the boy remains furious about the cell phone. Soji warns that he can do whatever he wants with him, except touch that phone. The stranger replies that he does not want to fight, only to destroy the device. Soji refuses to allow that because he needs it to talk to his sister. The boy, surprised, asks if he really understands what he is saying. The truth is that his sister had already passed away a long time ago. About a month earlier, Soji, completely shocked, tries to argue that this cannot be true. His sister is not dead, because if she were, then who would he be talking to all the time? Who would be the person on the other side of the screen? For him, it could only be Akari, his sister, and no one else. However, at that moment, a painful flashback emerges. His sister was in critical condition and, right before his eyes, she ended up dying. Soji was unable to accept that. He refused to attend the funeral and also did not go to collect the ashes. He denied with all his strength that she was really inside that urn. As time went by, he was consumed by this denial. He spent his days eating sweets non-stop, while carefully keeping his sister's phone number. He desperately waited for a reply, until one day he realized that his messages had been seen. Shortly after, a response came. From then on, he began telling stories from their childhood, remembering moments when they played together or when she scolded him for overdoing the sweets. Little by little, Soji clung to the idea that his sister was still alive. To him, no one but her could use that account. Nothing would replace his only family. Back in the present, something strange happens. From the phone, Akari's voice begins to come out. The screen becomes distorted, showing her face as she tells her brother that she can finally see him. Soji becomes emotional. He does not understand how, but he believes that his sister is alive inside the cell phone. At that instant, the boy takes advantage of the distraction. He throws the phone far away, and when the device hits the ground, he tries to destroy it. Soji falls into despair. However, when the smoke dissipates, the boy realizes, surprised, that he failed to hit the target. Before them, the figure of Akari appears. She thanks her brother for protecting her and says that, without him, she would not have been able to grow so much. Soji is completely enchanted when he sees her. However, suddenly, everything begins to change. Her body twists, her form becomes distorted, and her eyes begin to bleed. Frightened, Soji asks what is happening. Before she can answer, the boy interrupts him, explaining that, from that moment on, that is no longer his sister. He reveals that it was always a ghost writing to him. According to his explanation, these spirits usually appear in places important to the dead, such as bathrooms, hospitals, mirrors, music rooms, and even beaches. But currently, they are appearing more and more inside cell phones. When the account of a deceased person becomes inactive on social networks, it can turn into a ghost. Soji reacts by saying that this is impossible, something with no scientific basis whatsoever. He mocks him, saying that the boy talks like that while he spent half a month talking to the spirit of his own sister. What nerve! The boy insists on following scientific logic to confront Akari's digital spirit, explaining that the ghost only fully materialized because the phone was not destroyed in time. Now, common physical attacks no longer work. making it necessary to resort to specific methods against digital ghosts, such as the digitization of spiritual power. Faced with Soji's astonishment, the boy uses a huge hammer taken from a toolbox inside the cell phone, revealing that Soji also possesses spiritual sensitivity. The boy attacks the ghost with full force, determined to exorcise Akari, while Soji screams that he will do anything to save his sister. However, Soji realizes that the spirit is suffering and, upon hearing Akari's voice calling him, falls into conflict. When the boy tries to finish the exorcism, Soji stops him, stating that, even dead, Akari is still his sister. The boy reacts angrily, reminding him that the dead do not return and that the living need to accept the loss in order to move forward. During the argument, the ghost tries to flee, but Soji approaches and tries to calm her. The situation spirals out of control when Akari attacks the boy and then bites Soji, saying that they can stay together forever. At that moment, Soji understands that he is the one keeping his sister trapped in the world of the living because he cannot let her go. By accepting this truth, he decides to act. The cell phone becomes engulfed in blue flames, and Soji awakens at the final moment. He tells Akari that she has already died, and that she needs to rest, promising to fulfill the request she always made while alive. Even furious, Akari is finally exorcised when Soji activates the final connection, enveloping both of them in the flames. Before disappearing, she says goodbye, while Soji, overwhelmed with emotion, can barely respond. Later, the team led by Kubata arrives at the scene. Despite scolding the situation, considering it unacceptable that an ordinary boy had to exorcise his own sister, Kubata reveals something crucial. Soji demonstrated that he possesses spiritual power, specifically of an incendiary nature. The revelation that the flames were blue shocks the group. Faced with this, the responsible instructor decides that Soji will be taken to the academy, where he will be evaluated. From that point on, his destiny will depend on his ability to control this power or to survive it.
Take you